so. Where's Go and have some adventures? Where's Go and have some adventures with Thomas? Where's Go and have some adventures? Sodor's a fun place to be. Sodor's greatest adventures. Sodor's greatest adventures.
It was a bright day on the island of Sodor. James the engine was just delivering and picking up supplies on a goods train when he's doing. His driver's dog Fuzzy was also with him. It's a nice day to bring Fuzzy along with you, driver. The driver agreed. Oh, wait, he said. I have something special for you, Fuzzy. He took out something. Fuzzy and James were excited. It was a collar. These things are for dogs to make sure they have an owner. It even has his name on it. There you go, said the driver. Now everyone knows your name and you have an owner. Yeah, that's what Nia said today we found him when he was at Knapford, said James. Glad to see he has a collar now. Of course, said the driver. Come on now, back in the cab. They got back in the cab, and with a toot of his whistle, James puffed away. When James first met Fuzzy, it was at Knapford Station. Later on, James was trying to look for a home for Fuzzy and tried asking all of his friends. But when Emily got stuck in the forest, Fuzzy went to Knapford Station to get help, when Spencer brought Judy and Jerome to help the mess. And with that day, James' driver decided to adopt Fuzzy, and from that day on, Fuzzy became James's driver's dog, and a good friend James too. James likes Fuzzy, including his other friends like Henry, for example. Fuzzy also helped James and Henry's near situation with an elephant one time, along with Belle and Luke, who also helped trying to get the elephant to the zoo. And with that award, James and Henry were allowed to help Neil work at the animal park, delivering food, shorts, and gift safari rides, etc. to the people and the animals. James likes Fuzzy and glad that glad his driver owns him and adopted him. However, there was a problem. During the run with the goods train, Fuzzy, however, was all right, but then something started to happen to him. James saw this. Driver, is Fuzzy all right? Fuzzy, he started to feel a bit weird. His driver checked. I don't think he's feeling well, said the driver. We might have to bring him to the vets, said the fireman. The vets would know what to do. Jane was worried. After they dropped off their goods train Cronin's gate, they head to the vets straight away. Jane's crew and Fuzzy were in the vets while the vet was checking on Fuzzy. Jane was outside. He was worried for his puppy. Well, he was worried for his doggy friend. When Henry puffed in beside him. Hello, Jane, he said. Oh, hey, Hen. Why are you at the vet's? He puffed. Oh, it's Fuzzy. There's something wrong with him. Henry was puzzled. You mean Fuzzy's not feeling well? Jane explained what happened. Henry was surprised. Don't worry, Jane. I'm sure everything's okay with Fuzzy. See, you really think so? Of course I am. Your driver knows what to do with him, and he did help us with the elephant situation at the animal park. You're right, Hen. Hopefully he'll be alright. Just then, his crew came out. What's wrong with him? Asked James, worrying. Apparently, the vet said it's not really too serious. That's good, said Henry. But what's wrong with him? Well, said the fireman, apparently he has something known as a chill in his belly. Well, inside of him. And the vet said he needs to rest for a couple of days. James and Henry, we were relieved it wasn't too serious, but this chill worried James even more. What if something's really wrong with Fuzzy? Come on, said the driver. We might as well head back to Cohen's gate and get Fuzzy in. As they brought Fuzzy onto the cab, James set off. See you, Hen. Goodbye, Jane, said Henry. Henry started worried for his best friend. The next morning, after James did his mail run, he was about to get ready to be steamed up, but his fireman driver didn't came. Where are they? Said James. I'm not sure, said Ivor. They're not usually this late. My crew is here. James started to worry. What if something was wrong with Fuzzy? I hope Fuzzy's alright. Calm down, James, said Ivor. Not everything can be wrong with Fuzzy, you know. True, but let's hope he's alright. A workman came over. I'm sorry, James. I'm afraid you might not be able to do any work today. Your drivers said he or all your firemen can come over to do their jobs. They have to look after Fuzzy. But what about my branch line? Said James. And my mail run and working at the animal park and so many other jobs. I'm afraid the Fire Control can't get any other one else to drive you. The Fire Control said you can have a day off today. James was worried. He hoped Fuzzy would be better soon. Don't worry, James, said Ivor. I'll do my best to look after the branch line. Besides, I did look after it before. Oh, and don't forget, Philip did help you when I was away one time. True. Good luck today, Ivor. Ivor steamed away to do his jobs. James worried. Meanwhile, Henry finished most of his jobs today. Driver, can we go to Crone's Gate and check on James? I'm still worried about yesterday about him. Sure, said the driver. Me and the fireman can go and check see is there anything we can do about Fuzzy. And with that, Henry puffed to Crone's Gate. He soon puffed into Crone's Gate. James was in the shed. Ivor was away doing the jobs. Oh, hey, Hen, why are you here? Well, Jane, my crew. I asked my crew, can I see if you're alright? And they said yes. Sure, said James. You can come into the sheds if you want. Henry smiled. Thank you. Soon, Henry backed into the sheds. His crew got out of his camp. We're just going to go to your driver's house, James, and see anything we can do to help Fuzzy. All right, then, said James, as Henry's crew walked to James's driver's house. So, have you been? How were you? Well, said James, I was able to do my mail run yesterday. My driver sort of got a friend of his to look after Fuzzy during the mail run, but for some reason, he and the fireman had to take a day off today to look after him. I was wondering if it has gotten serious about this chill. Well, don't worry, said Henry. I know I keep saying that to you, but if you don't feel well, James, or you're a bit sad, I'm always there for you. Thanks, Hen. You're a good best friend. Anytime, James, said Henry. Henry started to think. You know, I suppose you can't take the mail tonight with Percy. Would it be alright if I could stay and keep you company? You really want to do that? Yes, Sir Henry. I mean, I have stayed here before, a couple of times. If we can ask our crew, maybe you should ask your crew first when they get back," said James. "See what they say." Henry's crew soon came back. "We did what we could to help Fuzzy," they said. "Driver, fireman, is it alright if I can stay here tonight with James? I mean, he's my best friend, and I'm worried for him. Plus, James, driver, and fireman could maybe do some more help with Fuzzy." Henry's crew thought. They went to see James's crew about this till they came back. "James' crew has agreed on it. We can stay here tonight, Henry, because we're going to be staying in James' driver house, including with James' fireman, because James' driver has some spare rooms." "Alright then," said Henry, as his crew walked away. "But what about the flying kipper?" said James. "Don't worry, they can telephone the Fat Controller, and they can get another engine like Hero or Meldok to pull it." "Fair point," said James. "Well, you for thank you for saying you're going to spend the night with me." "Not a problem," said Henry. Henry stayed all night at Crowan's Gate. He even was there when Ivor returned to the sheds after the hard day's work, and they explained what was happening. Ivor liked the idea. Soon it was morning. James was still worried about poor old Fuzzy. His crew came. "Driver, fireman, when you came, what about Fuzzy?" "Don't worry," said the driver. "But Fuzzy was doing all right yesterday." "This," said the fireman. "We thought it'd be better if we take a day off and look after him. A good thing Henry's crew came to help us." "Glad to be of service," said Henry and his crew together. "Yeah, and good thing Henry came yesterday to check up on me. Even you too, Ivor, since you live here. I'm always there for you, James. I may not be your best friend, but I would do anything to be a good friend to you. Well, I can say one thing, you're a good partner to work with on this railway, or this branch line." Ivor smiled. "But what about Fuzzy, though? Is he alright?" "He's doing fine," said the crew. We can start more work today. Meanwhile," said the driver, "well, I got my friend of mine is going to watch him today, so we can do our jobs." Jane was happy to get out of the sheds again, but still worried about Fuzzy. The next day, during the day, James started to do all of his jobs again, pulling goods train and passenger trains. He was doing more of the little goods run he did 2 days ago when Fuzzy got the collar. He was waiting on the signal. He was at the bend where him and Rosie had a race one time, and Rosie crashed, and he bought the Chinese breakdown cranes, and Edward also helped. Henry puffed in on the other track, pulling a goods train. "Hello, James. How are you feeling today?" "A bit better, actually," said James. "With you staying with me last night, and the fact that your crew also helped Fuzzy, I've been doing a little bit better. So thank you." "Well, that's good," said Henry. "Are you glad to be out of the sheds again?" "True, but I'm still worried for Fuzzy a bit." "Oh well," said Henry. "We all get that here and there. Anyways, I better be off. See you, Jane. See you, Hen." And as Henry continued his delivery, and so did James too. Later that day, he met Toby and Henrietta at a signal. "Hello, James," said Toby and Henrietta together. "Hey, Toby. Hey, Henrietta," said James. "We heard about what happened to Fuzzy," said Henrietta. "If you don't mind asking," said Toby, "how is he?" "Well, he has a chill, but he's doing all right so far. I just hope he'll be okay soon." "Well, glad to hear about that," said Toby. "Do you ever get that thing in case one of those birds, whoever get in that bush, in that bird shed at ours their end, said James. What do you mean, said Toby? I mean, do they ever get sick or anything and you start to worry for them? Well, said Toby, not really, but if I ever do get worried for them, I probably would if they ever get sick. I mean, that nice little bird shed for them has been doing great. Great since it was built there. But however, if they ever do get sick, I will worry for them. Like how you're worrying for Fuzzy, I would believe. Yes, said James. But look, Fuzzy will make it. Believe me. I know, said Toby. Thanks, said James. You're welcome. And with that, Toby continued his journey. See ya, said Henrietta. Bye, you two, said James. As James went off to Wellsworth, aka Epworth Station. He soon made it. Edward and Philip were there. As he puffed in. Hello, James, said Edward. Hello, James, said Philip. Hey, you two, said James. I delivered this goods train. I'll shut it for you, said Philip. As he went off. Thanks, Philip. James started to worry about Fuzzy. See again. Edward saw this. James, is everything alright? He asked. James heard Edward. Oh, everything's been okay, Edward. By the looks of it isn't. I take it something's been bothering you, hasn't it? Well, said James. Alright. He explained about Fuzzy's situation and he told Henry was the first one to hear about this. It seems Henry has known a lot of things about you. I know. He's my best friend, and I'm always telling him all these things first most of the times. It's understandable, said Edward. But I think it's a good idea if I told you and Toby. One is because you're part of the family members, and you're our leader. And two, said James, that the fact that, yes, Edward, that you are much more wiser than all of us. I mean, you're the one who helped me stop missing Titmus sheds after all. I see, said Edward. But look, James. Pets are not the only things that can get sick. I mean, people can. Remember that time when your driver took ill and I had to chase after you? Yes, said James. I remember that. I remember my driver took ill and some boys were fiddling my controls. Yes, that was a long time ago, though. Oh, said Edward. Good. And what about the time when Thomas's driver took an ill? Or was it the fireman? Well, whichever the Mattel, said James. What about it? Remember the time when his driver got ill and he became a runaway? True, and Howard had to chase after him. You see, people also can get sick, James. Even engines. Like, what about when Henry had his coal issues, and then after that crash with the flying kipper? I remember the both of us had to help him with that, said James. Yes, said Edward. Good. You see, people and us engines can even get sick too. I mean, if there's any parts wrong with us, like you, Edward. No offense. Oh, please, James. I'm a good example. I mean, I am old after all. James smiled. There you go, James. Your goods train is shunted. Thanks, Philip. And thank you, Edward. Glad to be of service, James. I better head back to Cromwell's Gate now. Bye, you two. Bye. And James steamed away. Soon, James puffed back into Cromwell's Gate. He puffed into the station. Henry was there dropping off some deliveries. Scarlowy and Luke were also there. Hello, James, said Scarlowy. He and Luke and Henry were just talking. Henry was just telling us about Fuzzy. See, sorry if that made you a bit upset, James. Even though I should have asked you first if I could tell you on my permission. It's fine, Hen. You're my best friend. James's crew got off James and went to check on Fuzzy. Oh, I could see they're going to check on Fuzzy again, said Henry. Just then, As the station was busy, Duncan popped in. He was just passing by with some from stones and rocks from the Blue Mountain Quarry. Hello, Duncan, said Scullery. I can see you're doing some Blue Mountain Quarry runs, said Luke. Oh, laddies, what's going on here now? Now, they explained about Fuzzy. Duncan had a little laugh. What's so funny? Said Luke. Don't you get it? Said Duncan. If Fuzzy has a chill, he could be maybe a bit cold. Huh, dogs wear sweaters if you ask me. What about us engines? Said Duncan. Are you trying to be rude about Fuzzy, James's driver's dog, who lives here? Duncan rolled his eyes. Huh, like I give a care. I mean, he's not our dog, so why should I care? Oh, we should all care about pets, said Scullery. I mean, what about once the handle nearly ran over those sheeps and I had to take his train, and yet you made it back to the station on one side? Wait a minute, did I tell you that story before? I heard from us. Well, I heard it from Peter Sam. I mean, he told me that story one time when you or Sam were not even around. Oh, whatever, said Scullery. All I'm saying is, there's no need to be about Fuzzy. So what? Said Duncan. It's not our dog. Okay, now that's just going too far, said Henry. It's alright, guys, it's alright. Duncan have his own opinions, said James. Huh? Indeed I do, laddies. Just then, James' fireman driver came back with a surprise. We got a surprise for you, James, they said. James' face started to feel a bit happy. What is it? He said. They moved and showed who it was. It was a better Fuzzy. Fuzzy, said James. You're all better. As the vet said the driver, a well-earned rest, said the fireman. And Fuzzy raced over to James. Good to have you back, boy. What do you think of that now, Duncan? Said Luke. Duncan rolled his eyes. All right. I'm sorry, he said. Never mind, my Duncan, said Henry. Let's all be happy. Fuzzy is better again. Agreed, said Scullery. I hope you won't say anything about him again, Duncan, said Scullery. Yes, said Luke. Luke agreed. All right, laddies, I won't, said Duncan. Angels who want having fun, he said, as he puffed away. Hey, sorry about him. It's fine, said James. But all I'm glad now is to have Fuzzy back. James, of course, was very worried about Fuzzy during all of this, but in the end, he understands that if something like a chill happens to a pet, or even somebody, he knows that if he doesn't worry too much, they could survive. I think Fuzzy is all better now. Don't you? Agreed.
Let's go on and have some adventures with Thomas and all his friends. So those greatest adventures.